day. It certainly won't be as windy. A mix of sunny spells and showers. Some of those showers still could be heavy with some hail and thunder. Still wintry over high ground in Scotland. And these temperatures still a little disappointing really for the time of year. 8 to 13 degrees. Into Friday, another weather system runs in from the west. The winds shouldn't be as strong with this one, but it is going to bring some outbreaks of rain, particularly across parts of Wales, the Midlands, southern England, and even further north. Yes, there'll be some sunny spells, but some showers will pop up. Some of those will be quite heavy and perhaps wintry again over high ground in Scotland, and still feeling rather chilly. That, however, is set to change a little as we head through the weekend. We will lose this chilly air and instead we'll pick up more of a southerly wind, and that is going to lift the temperatures through the weekend and on into the start of next week. We're expecting quite a lot of dry weather. There will be some spells of sunshine around, and these temperatures 16 to 19 degrees quite easily. We may get into the low 20s Celsius. But in the short term, take care if you're travelling today, particularly in the south and the west of the UK, with some very strong winds. Jane. All
right, Ben, thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Ben Rich there with the weather prospects. And just a reminder of our top story here this lunchtime. The US President Joe Biden is visiting Northern Ireland. He's met Rishi Sunak and shared tea there in Belfast. And as we've reflected in the last hour, he's been giving a speech at Ulster University. He has urged the political parties in Northern Ireland to return to power sharing. And that is it from the BBC News at 1 team for today. Goodbye from everybody here on BBC One. We'll join our news teams now wherever you are. Have a very good afternoon. Bye-bye.
The headlines on Reporting Scotland this Wednesday lunchtime. The Scottish Government will challenge the UK Government's decision to block the Gender Recognition Reform Bill. And 3D scans give more information about the markings on the Stone of Destiny. Hello there, good afternoon. The Scottish Government have confirmed they will launch legal action against the UK Government over the Gender Recognition Reform Bill. The bill was backed by MSPs last year but blocked by Scottish Secretary Alistair Jack, who claimed it would have an adverse impact on British equality laws. Well, our political editor Glenn Campbell joins us now. Glenn, what have the Scottish Government said today?
Well, they've said they will seek judicial review of the UK Government's decision to use its powers under Section 35 to stop the Gender Recognition Reform Bill becoming law. And they say that they are acting in defence of devolution because the bill was passed by 2/3 of the Scottish Parliament last December. Their decision will be welcomed by trans rights campaigners. It's been welcomed by the Scottish Greens, who made pretty clear that not challenging the UK's intervention would put at risk their power-sharing deal with the SNP. However, taking this action also risks inflaming existing tensions within the SNP because a number of their own politicians are not happy with this legislation. The MP Joanna Cherry has said she doesn't understand why the Scottish Government is making a challenge that she thinks it is unlikely that they will win. We're also hearing from the UK Government, from the Scottish Secretary Alistair Jack, who says UK ministers will robustly defend their decision to stop this becoming law because they believe that it will cut across UK-wide equality legislation.
So Glenn, what happens next?
Well, Holyrood is on its Easter break at the moment, but the deadline for submitting legal action falls within this period. So the paperwork will need to go to court this week. But when MSPs return next week, the Social Justice Secretary Shirley-Anne Somerville will make a statement to the Scottish Parliament, presumably giving more detail about the legal basis for their challenge.
Thank you, Glenn. The SNP says it's informed the Electoral Commission of the difficulty it's having in identifying replacement auditors. First Minister Humza Yousaf said yesterday that he first found out the auditors had resigned when he became party leader. The SNP last night confirmed its former accountants, Johnston Carmichael, told the party in September they wouldn't be able to carry out this year's audit of the party's accounts.
We need to know why, what reason was given for them resigning, number one. Number two, we need to know why the party and the National Executive Committee, which is responsible for these matters, apparently didn't know, and why Hamza Yousaf, who should have been told immediately upon his election as party leader about the state of the audit position, and why that didn't happen.
Islanders are facing further misery on the ferries today. 3 sailings between Stornoway and Ullapool were cancelled this morning. It's after Calmac's biggest ferry, the MV Loch Seaforth, developed problems on Monday night with its engine control system. Adverse weather conditions have caused cancellations and delays to several other services across the network. But Highland Council has announced passenger ferry services will begin this evening on the Corran ferry route after a relief vessel broke down. Football's European Championship could be returning to Scotland after the UK and Ireland confirmed they've submitted a joint bid to host the event in 2028. Hampden Park hosted games at Euro 2020 and the National Stadium is the only Scottish venue on the bid. The proposal would see games spread across England, Wales, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Turkey are the only other country to submit a bid. A decision on who will host the tournament will be made in October. A 26-year-old man from North Ayrshire is believed to be the first deaf British Sign Language driving instructor in Scotland. Kieran Cuthbert passed his final exams after watching his partner, who is also deaf, struggle for years to find a suitable teacher. He now hopes to inspire other deaf drivers to get behind the wheel.
I've grew up deaf my full life. I grew up with a hearing family, an oral speaking family that didn't know any sign language. Going from learning how to drive, getting my licence and then now teaching it, I now understand what it's like for a deaf person who is learning, so I can relate to them and understand their struggles.
Now, conservationists have come across mysterious markings on the Stone of Destiny whilst it's being prepared for King Charles's coronation next month, before being moved temporarily from Edinburgh to London for the ceremony. Conservationists have carried out new digital research, as Morag Kinneborough reports.
It looks a bit like ironing, but this is how conservationists study the ancient Stone of Destiny. These new scans give more information than ever before about this sandstone used for centuries of coronations.
When add a little light to the scene, it tells a completely different story. So here you can see 3 different tool marks. You can see these Roman numerals that were found in person by our conservation scientists and experts, but in the 3D model, you can really just see them come to life here. We don't know much about them at all, really.
Last used to crown Queen Elizabeth, the Stone of Scone was removed from Westminster Abbey in 1950 by students.
Orders went out for a strict search on roads, ports and airfields.
It was found in Arbroath Abbey.
Just 2 hours after the stone was delivered here, it was taken away by the police.
In the 90s, it was returned to Scotland on condition it had be lent to London for coronations.
It's a symbol of Scottish nationhood, really, so it's a hugely iconic object. It's been used probably since at least the 9th century, first for Scottish monarchs, and then obviously when it was taken to England for English monarchs since 1297. So it has this really long symbolic history of use.
More research is being done on these mysterious carvings to give fresh insight into this ancient stone's past. And a 3D printed replica stone's being used in rehearsals to practice putting it into the coronation chair without causing any damage. Morag Kinneborough, reporting Scotland.
Now, it's been cold and wet over the last few days. Let's see what the rest of the week has in store for us. Here is Cosser with a look at today's weather.
Good afternoon. Well, quite an unsettled day so far. We've had outbreaks of rain, some very strong winds too, and this afternoon it's a case of some sunshine, some scattered heavy showers, as captured here by one of our weather watchers, all courtesy of this deep area of low pressure that has been named by the French Met Service as Storm Noah. and adopted by the Met Office as well. So this storm will continue to bring the very strong winds across the south of the UK and also for the far north of us. So for us here in Scotland, the Western Isles, the Northern Isles here, it does remain quite windy into the afternoon. Blustery elsewhere with outbreaks of showery rain. The showers mainly focused across parts of the northwest, but there will be showers elsewhere, some sunny spells in between, and temperatures a disappointing 9 to 10 Celsius. Add on the strength of the wind and it will feel chilly. Into the evening, those showers will continue too, and we will see some clear spells in between. Temperatures, though, dipping close to freezing for some, for towns and cities, around 2 to 4 Celsius. So it will be a chilly start to the day tomorrow. And this deep area of low pressure continues to progress further eastwards. So by the time we reach tomorrow, there will be further showers around. Again, some of these showers may be heavy at times, but there will be some spells of sunshine too, the best of which will be around the Moray Firth area for Aberdeenshire, and temperatures reaching around 10 to 12 Celsius. Now, the winds will continue to lighten as we look ahead to Friday, so there'll be some mist and fog patches to start the day, sunshine and scattered heavy showers during the day, maybe the odd rumble of thunder, and temperatures, well, reaching around 11 to 12 Celsius. But milder weather is on its way for the weekend and for the start of next week as well. That's your forecast.
Thanks very much for that, Kosser. And that is all from us for now. Laura Miller will be back with more on all of these stories and the rest of your news, sport and weather in Reporting Scotland. That's at 6:30 tonight. But from everyone on the Lunchtime team, enjoy your Wednesday afternoon. Goodbye.